I'm so happy to be saying these three words that I'm about to say. I'm in Ghana. I'm in Ghana. I'm back in Ghana. That's 4 words. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. My first time in Ghana was 25 years ago, and I just made it back. So, for those who don't know, and I don't know if any of you know this, but I studied abroad at the University of Ghana when I was a sophomore in college at Howard University. HU, you know. That was, yes, that was 25 years ago. And that was my first time. That was my first time in Ghana. That was my first time on the continent of Africa. And ever since then, I have wanted to get back to Ghana. And I am so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back. My time at the university was amazing. It was a summer semester at the University of Ghana in Legon. And I had always had a desire to travel to Africa. I don't come from a family of people who are jet setters and globetrotters, but ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. It was just something that was in me. It was just in my heart, in my mind all the time. And the two places that I wanted to go to Australia and Africa. Now, at that time, I had no idea that Africa was a continent of 50 plus countries. I had no idea. I just knew that there was something in me that said, I want to go there. And so I knew I wanted to go. So when I was in college, I was a sophomore at Howard University, and I had a professor who connected me to a program that I think is no longer in existence. The program was called the Alliance International Research for Minority Scholars, AIRMS. And you had to apply and submit essays and do all of these things. And there were multiple countries that you could choose. And so you had to choose your first, second, and third choices. Ghana was my first choice. I think the other options were Namibia, South Africa. I don't remember. I believe there were 5 options to choose from. I don't remember the other 2. But I very specifically remember Ghana, South Africa, and Namibia being 3 of the 5 choices. And Ghana was my first choice, and I was chosen to come to Ghana. And so we went to London for 2 weeks to study at the SOAS, the School of Oriental and Africana Studies. And the point with that was to kind of introduce us to the culture of the place that we were going to be visiting and learn a little bit of the language. It was very difficult to learn. We were learning the language Twi, which is widely spoken here in Ghana. And so we learned a little bit of it, but when we got here, everybody was speaking English to us. So we were like, our Twi is not getting any practice because everybody wants to speak English to us. But we were at the university. The university is such a beautiful property. It's massive, it's green and lush and just beautiful. I can't wait to visit while I'm here. I can't wait to see it again. But we were at the university. We were studying in the linguistics department, and we had the opportunity to travel around the country and talk to different queen mothers and talk to musicians, and just to really kind of immerse ourselves as much as we possibly could in the country. And when I tell you, I fell in love with this place. I fell in love. First off, as soon as we landed, and when you're traveling the continent, when you get off the plane, you're not getting off and going directly into one of those the tubes or whatever it's called that takes you directly into the terminal. You're getting off of the plane and you're walking down steps. And so as soon as you step off the plane, you're outside. And when I tell you, the warmth and the humidity just hit me dead in my face, and I was like, whoa. I'm from Ohio. It gets hot and humid, but this was a different kind of heat and a different kind of humidity. But we were welcomed so warmly and so openly by everyone we came into contact with. And one of the things that really struck me, this being my first time as a Black American person, this being my first time on the continent of Africa, is being in a large group of people. Let's say the market. We went to Makola Market. We went to concerts at the National Theater and outdoor concerts, and we went to marketplaces, and we went, just everywhere. And to be surrounded by people who look just like you, who are your color, who have your hair texture, so much so that I definitely was mistaken for a local. And that happens to me often. That happened to me when I was in Kenya. That happened to me here in Ghana. It happened to me in Zambia. I'm mistaken for a local. And so because of that, people just immediately start speaking the local language to me. And I'm like, hold on. I wish I understood, but I don't. But to be surrounded by people who look just like you, I think it's such a profound thing as a Black American to have that experience, because in the United States, you are never really surrounded by all Black folks or people who all look like you. That's just not an experience that you have. You're used to being around, depending on the city that you're living in. Now, you might live in a majority Black city, and okay, you might have that experience there. But for the most part, you might be the only one. I've definitely had that experience of being the only Black person in the space that I'm in. Or you might be one of few. And so you spend so much time navigating, interacting with other races, other cultures of people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to be in a space where you are truly the majority, where you are Black and you don't have to say you're Black because everybody's Black and it just is. Where you don't have to explain your skin, where you don't have to explain your hair. Lord have mercy, the number of times I have to explain my hair or I get questions. It feels so heartwarming to be in a space where you're like, oh, I can just be. There's something that I call ancestral memory. That's just a term that I use. And to me and for me, ancestral memory has been the thing that speaks to you when you're in a space and you might not necessarily know all the stories. You may not necessarily know the language. The culture may be slightly different or very different, but you have this thing in you that says, oh, I know this place. This place feels familiar to me. This place feels like home to me. I was explaining it to a friend a while ago, and the only way I can explain it is that on a cellular level, it's as if the vibration, the frequency of my cells recognizes the frequency here, and they are on the same frequency, and I just feel settled. My nervous system feels at peace. And again, I have felt that in multiple places. I have felt that here in Ghana, and I feel it now. I felt that when I was in Zambia. I really, really felt that when I was in Kenya and Tanzania. I really felt it there. But it's this sense of your nervous system being at rest in a way that honestly does not happen for me in the US, especially lately. In the US, I feel like everybody's on guard, everybody's on high alert, everybody's at attention, everything is go, 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 everything is speed, 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 everything is rush, 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 and everything is capitalism and commerce. And if I do this for you, what are you gonna do for me in exchange? And what do I owe you? And you owe me this, and and it's too much. It's too much. When we landed just earlier today, I landed a few hours ago. And as soon as I stepped off the plane, I felt that feeling again. First of all, I felt that humidity again. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, because I know a lot of people don't like humidity, but I love it. It's good for the skin, it's good for the hair, it's good for the breathing. It's just good for you. So I stepped off the plane and I just took a deep breath and I just took it in. And it was evening, it was dark. And I was like, oh, there's the feeling again. And from the time I landed to going through passport control, to going through and making sure that I have my, my vaccination that I'm supposed to have, and then checking my passport, and then getting my bags, and then getting an Uber to my Airbnb, everything has just felt like an exhale. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel nervous. Yes, I'm in a country I've only been to twice with a 25-year gap. No, I don't speak the local language. This is, but I don't feel foreign. I feel comfortable and I feel safe. I just left my Airbnb to walk to the store to go grab some things and come back, and I just was, it's such a glorious thing to just feel like you can exhale, like you can consciously drop your shoulders, like you can just be. You can just be. And it makes me so happy. I'm so happy to be here. I was talking to my taxi driver who was, bringing me from the airport to my Airbnb. And talking to him, it makes me sad and it also makes me angry to see how white supremacy has just ransacked the planet. There are, I would say, very few places you can go that have not been touched by white supremacy. And I was talking to my driver, and he was this charming gentleman with this beautiful dark chocolate complected skin and a dimple in his cheek. And we were talking, and he asked me where I was from, and I told him I'm from the US. And he said, oh, you're from the US. You're not fair. And I said, what do you mean? He said, everybody in the US is fair. You're my color. And I said, well, everybody in the US is not fair. I said, why do you think that? But it was the same answer I got when I was here 25 years ago. Media, television, all of those things paints a specific picture of the US. And I told him, I said, there are plenty of black people in the US that are my complexion, that are your complexion, and even darker. And I said, yeah, there are some folks who are fair. There are some black folks who are fair. There's some white people. And he was like, oh, your father's not a white man. No, my father is not a white man. My father is a black man. My mother is a black woman. And they are my color. And he was like, oh, and they're from Ghana. No, they're not from Ghana. They're from the US. And he said, I think about going to the US, and I think I want my children to be fair. And I said, what? I said, why? He said, because it's beautiful. I said, sir, your skin is beautiful. God gave you this melanin, and he did not make any mistakes when he gave it to you. He gave it to you on purpose. And I said, there's something that you need to know. A lot of people in the world and a lot of people in the United States know the power that is in our melanin. So if they know the power and they know the beauty, you should know the power and you should know the beauty. I said, God gave it to you for a reason. He didn't make any mistakes when he gave you that melanin. And it's beautiful. And he said, oh, okay, thank you. But it just, like I said, it makes me sad and it makes me angry because white supremacy has taught us that in order to be beautiful, we need to be fair. We need to be light-skinned. We need to be white. There's a whole world of people who are not fair. I'm one of them. Not fair, not light, not white. And there's nothing wrong with being light, fair. There's nothing. I'm not speaking against those things. I'm speaking in favor of my melanin because it's beautiful and it's powerful in so many ways. It's beautiful and it's powerful in so many ways. I remember when I was here 25 years ago, and at that time I had braids in my hair, and I was here with two other students, and they both had natural hair. Two black women, and they both had natural hair. And we were trying to get our hair done before we came back to the U.S. Just, I just wanted to get mine rebraided. And it was sad to me how many women wanted their hair to be straightened. They wanted weaves, they wanted wigs, they wanted relaxers. They were trying to be like American. And we were like, but we want to be like y'all, because y'all are the originals. Y'all are where we came from. I want us to all recognize, if you are watching this and you're a black woman or a black man, I want you to recognize the intentionality that God had when he made your skin the color that it is. I want you to realize the intentionality, because the world will have you believe that in order to be beautiful, you need to be lighter. That's why people are out here whitening their skin, bleaching their skin, because we have been made to believe that in order to be beautiful, we need to be lighter, we need to be whiter, we need to have light eyes, we need to have straight hair. And God gave me this. God gave me this hair. And I will never, ever, ever choose to believe that God gave me something ugly and that in order to be beautiful, I have to put somebody else's hair on my head or somebody else's texture of hair on my head or lighten my skin, bleach my skin. No. I don't know if I meant for this to turn into a Black is Beautiful video, but I guess it has, because it is. We are beautiful. We are beautiful. Whether you're fair or dark, we are beautiful. And I'm so happy to be back in Ghana, surrounded by my beautiful melanated people. Because my nervous system feels stable. I feel stable. It's warm, it's hot, it's humid, and I love it. I'm so happy to be back. I am so happy to be back here. So my next several videos are going to be from Ghana. And that makes me very, very happy. Oh, man. If you don't know me, my name is Tryphena Wade. I am a professional actor with Broadway, TV, and film credits. I am a life coach, and my focus for the most part is fearless living. I'm also a globetrotter, and I'm back in Ghana, and it makes me so happy to be back here. I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.